always believed marriages had invisible lines, boundaries you just don't cross. But maybe my husband never saw those lines, or maybe he saw them and chose to step over them, one text at a time, one late meeting after another. Eli and I had been married for 6 years. He was ambitious, driven, the kind of man who didn't just want promotions, he expected them. When he got a job at his dream firm, I was proud of him. We toasted with champagne the night he got hired. That was also the night he mentioned her for the first time. Her name's Miranda. She's tough but brilliant. I think I could learn a lot from her. At first, I was thrilled he admired someone in leadership. But as the months went on, her name started to come up in every conversation. Miranda said this. Miranda challenged me on that. Miranda invited me to a networking dinner. At first, I smiled and nodded. Supportive wife mode. That's what you do when you love someone. You cheer them on. But then came the late nights, the last-minute client meetings, the smell of expensive perfume that lingered on his shirt when he got home, not mine. He stopped looking me in the eye, stopped asking about my day. Then, one evening, I walked into his office while he was in the shower and saw his laptop still open. A message notification popped up in the corner of the screen. From Miranda. Last night was risky, but worth it. I still think about that hotel balcony. My breath caught in my throat. I stared at the screen, willing the words to rearrange into something innocent. They didn't. I closed the laptop and sat on the edge of the bed, numb. I heard the water shut off, heard him humming. My husband was in the next room, toweling off, probably rehearsing some lie about work stress, and I was sitting here, holding the truth in my hands. He was cheating with his boss, and somehow that made it worse. I didn't say anything that night. I watched him walk out of the bathroom in a towel, humming like we were still in the same life together. Like his texts hadn't just burned a hole through the illusion we called a marriage. Babe, you okay? He asked, rubbing his hair dry. I nodded. Just tired. He smiled, actually smiled, and crawled into bed beside me. I laid there stiff as stone, staring at the ceiling while he drifted off beside me, like nothing had changed. Like he hadn't been on a hotel balcony with another woman. Like her name wasn't still glowing on the inside of my skull. The next morning, I played my role, made coffee, kissed his cheek, waved him off to work. I watched him walk out the door, briefcase in hand, suit pressed, cologne sharp. I wondered if Miranda would see him before lunch, or if she already had. I called in sick. I couldn't sit through meetings and fake small talk. Instead, I opened his laptop. I didn't feel guilty, not anymore. I dug messages, emails, calendar events that didn't match his excuses, dinner at client venues that were actually rooftop cocktail lounges and luxury hotels. I found a photo buried in a shared cloud folder. It wasn't graphic, but it was intimate. Him and Miranda on a rooftop, champagne flutes in hand. Her hand was on his chest. His tie was loose. His smile was the same one he used to save for me. I stared at the screen, feeling something boil low in my gut. Not just betrayal, humiliation, rage. That evening, I asked him casually, "How's Miranda these days?" He didn't flinch, didn't blink. "Oh, same as usual. Kind of a workaholic." Liar. "Oh," I said, sipping my wine. "She seems to enjoy a good hotel balcony." His fork froze halfway to his mouth. For the first time in weeks, he looked me straight in the eye. "What are you talking about?" I smiled. "You left your laptop open." He set the fork down slowly. "You went through my messages?" "You left them out like breadcrumbs," I said, my voice colder than I felt. And I followed them, right to Miranda's door. He stood up, started pacing. I could see him calculating. Damage control mode. "It was a mistake," he said. "It only happened once." That was all I needed to hear. He just admitted it, confirmed what I already knew. I didn't scream, didn't throw a glass. I stood, took my plate to the sink, and rinsed it like we were having the world's most civil dinner. Funny, I said over my shoulder. Her message didn't sound like a one-time thing. He didn't respond. He just stood there, silent. And in that moment, I realized something. He might have been sleeping with Miranda, but I still held all the power. After that night, Eli didn't know how to act around me. He hovered like a child who'd broken something and was waiting to see how bad the punishment would be. Every time I walked into the room, he stiffened. Every time my phone buzzed, he flinched. And honestly, I let him. Because the truth was, I was done playing small. He may have slept with his boss, but I still had the home, the history, and now, the leverage. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I didn't throw a fit. I just started making moves. Quiet ones, smart ones. First, I made a copy of everything. Every message, every photo, every calendar invite that didn't line up. Then I called a lawyer, discreetly. She was brilliant and expensive, and after 10 minutes on the phone, she already had a game plan that would protect me and obliterate any financial advantage Eli thought he had. He had no idea I'd already frozen our joint account and moved my direct deposit. Meanwhile, Eli was trying to play the repentant husband. He brought home flowers, made dinner, rubbed my shoulders like I was supposed to melt into his hands and forget he'd been melting into Miranda's. I let him pretend for a while. It made him sloppy. A few days later, Miranda called the house, bold. I didn't answer, but I saved the voicemail. Hey, Eli. I know you said we needed space after what happened, but I can't stop thinking about you. The way you touched me, what we shared. It wasn't just a mistake. You said that. The way you touched me. I stood in the kitchen listening to it, the phone on speaker, while he walked in with a grocery bag like nothing was happening. I made eye contact while her voice echoed through the room. He dropped the bag. What the hell, Sarah? Why would you? I cut him off with one sentence. You're going to tell me the entire story, every lie, every detail. Or I walk out of here and Miranda gets a copy of the prenup draft I just rewrote with my lawyer's help. That got his attention. He stood there, pale and stupid. You? You talked to a lawyer? Oh, honey, I said, pouring myself coffee like I wasn't setting his world on fire. While you were screwing your way through company perks, I was making sure you leave with exactly what you deserve, nothing. He tried to spin it. Blame stress, blame me, blame her. He said Miranda seduced him, that she had power over his job, that he didn't know how to say no. I almost laughed because this man, my husband, was now trying to frame himself as the victim in an affair he kept choosing. I leaned in close, my voice low and dangerous. You didn't cheat on me with some stranger. You chose her. Again and again. You just didn't expect I'd be smart enough to play your game better. He didn't say anything after that, just stood there, jaw clenched, breathing hard. Maybe it was finally sinking in, what it felt like to lose something he thought he had control over. I kissed his cheek. Oh, and Eli, you might want to start job hunting. He blinked. What does that mean? I smiled. Let's just say, Miranda's not going to like the photos I forwarded to HR this morning. By the time Monday morning hit, I was already 10 moves ahead. Eli left for work with tension in his shoulders and a nervous smile, the kind someone wears when they're walking into a room they no longer own. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. What he didn't know, what neither of them knew, is that I'd already scheduled a meeting with Miranda's firm's HR department. With the anonymous file I submitted, I included screenshots of their inappropriate messages, the hotel receipts tied to corporate funds, and the voicemail Miranda left, the one where she detailed exactly how he touched her on company time. Corporate doesn't play when it comes to power imbalance and misuse of funds. By noon, Eli called me. He didn't even say hello. He just said, "They know." I took a long sip of my coffee. Do they? They're investigating me. Miranda's on indefinite leave. They found out about the hotel charges. Oh no, I said with mock concern. That sounds serious. Silence on the other end. Then, did you do this? I didn't answer immediately. I let the silence linger. Then I said slowly, I warned you, Eli. I gave you a chance to come clean. Instead, you lied. So, yeah, I did what you never had the guts to do. Take accountability. He begged. Actually begged. He said we could still fix things, start fresh, go to therapy. I laughed. Therapy won't make me forget that you cheated on me with your boss, I said. It won't undo the lies, or that disgusting voicemail, or the way you used me as cover while sneaking around like a second-rate soap opera villain. He tried to play the victim again, but I hung up. I was done giving him airtime. I moved out that weekend, took the dog, my car, and all the furniture I'd paid for, which was basically everything. Left him with a mattress on the floor and a leaking espresso machine. The divorce papers? Already signed. My lawyer made sure the terms were airtight thanks to the adultery clause he was too arrogant to read when he first signed it. He left the marriage with nothing but debt and a job under review. Oh, and Miranda, she was asked to resign by the end of the month. Turns out HR doesn't like sexually manipulative power plays or watching high-level execs implode in group chats. Me? I started over, quietly, cleanly. I got a fresh apartment, started taking solo weekend trips, and finally launched the small design studio I'd been dreaming about for years. I no longer had to shrink myself for someone else's ambition. And one night, as I was sipping wine on my new balcony, my balcony, I got a message request. Eli, I miss you. I made a mistake. I didn't block him. I didn't respond. I just let the message sit there, unanswered, unread, like his chapter in my life, already closed.